Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with all the Flat Earth Debate pre-show and after-show goodness. If you'd like to keep up to date with the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Now we're currently in the in-between stages, in between two debates, so I'll raise the mic on the Hangout and they can hopefully keep you amused while I set up for the next live show over on Nathan Oakley channel.
For the toddlers, not fun. So it all kind of fell by the wayside, but maybe one day I'll come back and maybe start making some videos.
What is your Yeti's color? Mine's black.
I like the real popular mic. I hear a lot of people have
Yeah,
that
it's pretty
mic.
good.
I gotta spend a little money to get a decent microphone or a headset.
What, you're gonna drag a mic at work?
No, I mean not a mic, but a headset.
Right.
Come on,
I start asking, like, are you starting a radio show operation in the in the middle of a work floor? It would be kind of funny though.
I don't think they'd let me rock like that. But...
Chocolate radio on the work floor.
Ooh, I like that. Actually, pretty good. Chocolate radio.
Yeah.
Hey, this is 10th Man. My mic working good from the iPad only?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I came in the earlier show and there's a lot of excitement, so I'm trying to figure out what's happening. Are they abandoning the geometry that the two sticks 2,000 years ago gave us of a 25,000 mile Earth? Are they abandoning that now and going to a new geometry?
What? How? What new geometry?
Well, I guess since I came in a little late and had to walk in and out, I was hearing Wiggles talk about his screen. I saw his screen and he was trying to prove something. But didn't they already give us that with the two sticks 2,000 years ago? And it equaled 8 inches per mile squared. Now they want to abandon that one and take on Wiggles? Is that what's going on?
No, it's just it was just a math project.
That's my point. They gave us the math from two sticks 2,000 years ago. Then when we challenged it, 8 inches per mile squared, they say, oh, no, that's wrong. Well, then why is Wiggles using geometry when it was already given to us? And they've been hanging on to that old one until someone challenges it. Now they're changing it?
Because he made a really cool looking graph with it.
No, I understand that. That's the optics part that
right.
Come on. But what I'm saying is he's hanging his whole argument on geometry. I thought Slick did a great job of saying, prove it. And then he just said, it's math. So then the question is, what was wrong with the previous math?
And did you notice that, or did I miss, he never said where those numbers even came from? Like, did he take measurements? Did he use photographs? Did he use the theodolite? You know, did he ever mention where those, he just had numbers on a piece of paper?
He basically admitted it was all theoretical. It was all just math. He calculated, used the numbers, handed out to him, and then modeled it somehow.
He should start the next debate with, here, let me prove why 25,000 miles circumference is wrong because 8 inches per mile squared can't be observed. And then let me give you my new geometry. He doesn't start it that way. Did that come through or no comment?
Yeah, I got you.
So then why are we, so we got to say Wiggles just NASA and everybody else, and his geometry is better than what everybody's been putting in the textbooks for all these years. It's silly. Either the Earth is 25,000 miles in radius that can be broken down to 8 inches per mile square, or that's wrong because Wiggles says it's wrong. Now he offers geometry, but he can't prove his either, and Slick got him on that.
Yeah. It was, look, there's really no point he was making at all. It was a giant mess. It was almost Brenda level cognitive dissonance mess. So, except no trolling from his side, at least. He was trying to take it serious, but it was just a mess.
10th man, I was mistaken again. You are a good man.
Thank you, Slick. You were awesome today. Awesome.
Yeah, so Slick, we had a little bit of a talk yesterday, and I kind of joined right when I joined, and you literally were saying things like, are people trying to get me, or is that a gotcha? I mean, you have to keep in mind, like, the way that you talk and the way that you try and explain things is obviously different than most people, right? So it's like, I was thinking it's akin to someone standing naked in the middle of Times Square and saying, well, why are people staring at me, right? It's just not a usual thing that you see, and the way you talk isn't a usual way that you hear people talking. So I don't think people are trying to get you necessarily. They're trying to understand you, and in trying to understand you, it might sound like they're trying to get you because they're trying, they're repeating what you're saying back to you. They're saying, is that what you meant? Is that not what you meant? How could you not? You're basically making it sound like you have no beliefs, no belief system, which isn't even possible. It's like Brenda yesterday saying she had no bias or had little bias or whatever. Well, everyone has bias and everyone has beliefs. So I think that's kind of where most people are coming from. So it's not an attack on you or a gotcha moment. It's right. In my opinion, it's just people really trying to understand what you're talking about.
I understand, but the mistake you just made is when you said I have beliefs and belief systems. I told you I don't. So stop saying that I do, because that's the mistake that you're making. And they are trying to, hold on, and they are trying to use gotchas. When I said that, I knew what I was talking about.
I mean, you can say you don't have beliefs, but it's not possible.
Your belief.
That's your belief that you have no belief. It's not possible not to have a belief.
Let me explain something to you. I say what I have, not you. You don't get to speak for me. I told you I speak for me. Only me, not you.
Okay.
You got it?
Fine.
Did you understand what I just said?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you're right.
Okay, no, there's no yeah, but. Do you understand?
There is a yeah, but. There is a yeah, but.
Okay, what is the but?
Arwen just told you. You have no beliefs.
Did you say Arwen? The man of darkness himself? That's who you're using for your defense? That means that you're just as dark as he is.
Wow.
See, you take offense to people trying to understand.
I didn't say anything about being offended.
Sounds like a very elaborate belief of you.
I said nothing about being offended.
Yeah, do you believe Arwen is the man of darkness?
I don't have any belief. Arwen has already proved what he is. He's a snake in the grass. He already admitted it himself.
Dang.
No.
Now since you're defending him, you're a snake in the grass also. As far as I'm concerned, you're both in the same pile.
What experience
you pretend that you listen. You're just okay. Keep talking. This is what fear is. Keep talking.
Type of behavior. Like,
don't let me talk because you're afraid.
He's called.
You have a belief that I'm afraid.
Right. Okay. Well, then let me talk. Let me see how afraid you are, and let me speak.
Everyone is a snake in the grass.
Let me see if you let me speak.
Let him go, Arwen. Let him go.
Let it go.
Okay. You pretend that you are a man of the light, but you operate in darkness, because now you're following Arwen, because that's what Arwen does. And by you siding with him, you're just showing that you're the same snake as he is.
That's a belief. That's an opinion.
Let's get back to the earth, guys. Let's get back to the earth.
A very elaborate fantasy story.
Okay, let's get back to the earth. Everyone has the right.
Are you writing a book about this, Slick James?
10th man. 10th man, come on, you've been debating with him the last 3 days on this, so we can talk about it if we want to.
Right. No, I understand. I've made my case. Slick has made his case. Let's let
Right.
it go. It's not going to change.
Slick, do you have bias? Slick, do you have bias?
Listen, what I have is my experience, and I speak for myself. You speak for you. You don't speak for me. Period.
I just asked you a question.
And I just answered it.
No, you didn't. Do you have bias?
I have experience.
Sure you do, Slick James.
Hello, guys. Can I just say something, please?
Hey, before you do, I got to get going. I've got a buyer coming today for my farm product. So I will catch you later. Slick, great job today. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Okay,
sir. Take it easy.
Good luck to you, brother. I'm just going to speak for just 2 minutes. I'm going in next. I live in Aintree, and at the moment we've got the Grand National going on. And if Americans don't understand, it's a race, horse race, one of the biggest in the world. Now, I was out earlier today, and I was in traffic, and then all of a sudden there was this ambulance behind, way back, and it took the ambulance to wherever it was going more than 5-10 minutes in the traffic for the races. All these cars consumed in the town of Aintree, and this I was thinking to myself, whoever's called that ambulance isn't going to get there enough in time. So this is the world we're living in, is where money comes first. The corporations and Randox, who's running the national this year, maybe they will cover lawsuits if any family has got the nous or intelligence to say, well, hang on a minute, if this event wasn't going on and my husband or daughter or whoever is having a heart attack, that ambulance could have got there quicker. But only for this event, which is money in, corporation, everything, money, that ambulance could have got there quicker.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut. No, it's not. It's a live show. Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon, and crypto link in the info box below this video. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. Most importantly, if you'd like to join this discussion right now, then simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Slick James Johnson, Paul, Flat and Earth, Chris, Chocolate Sane, Arwin, AJ and 10th Man. Good to have you all.
Hello.
Good
Hello.
afternoon.
Hello.
As Travis would say, hello, hello, hello.
Hello, what?
Yeah,
Scientific
I missed
evidence
it.
of what? Any scientific evidence of gravity, Travis? No, he's not
Scientific
here.
evidence of what?
Should we dispense with housekeeping as this is the second show of the day? Although this is going to be going out as a new show on Sunday to the Nathan
Let's do it.
Oakley audience.
Let's do it.
Let's do housekeeping. Okay. Any signs of curvature, Earth-based?
Yeah, Wiggles had it on his piece of paper.
No. He had a reification of a model that excluded all optical effects from a geometric calculation that was being compared to optical photographs. So he had nothing. Definitely not a sign of Earth curve. Any other signs of Earth curve? Non-fallacious?
None. Nothing.
What about axial rotation then? Earth-based variety, of course.
No.
Any sign?
Unless they come up with better CDI.
That's definitely not axial rotation either. Evidence of decent computing power. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Nope, not at all.
No.
About the distance to the sun?
No.
Any evidence of gas pressure being maintained without a container?
Not that I know of.
Thermodynamics violation.
Indeed. What about a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
That should be made into a candy bar. It sounds delicious.
12 miles, that's it. So if they can get to the radius of the Earth after 12 miles, well, let them explain it.
Well, I was going to ask that next. Any evidence of the R value, Earth radius?
Nope.
No.
Radius of this same supposed presuppositional sphere? No.
That's the one.
That means it's imaginary. Doesn't exist.
Gravitas radius sanctus.
Radius Dominus Gravitas Spiritus Sanctus. Amen. Go in peace. In R you trust, Globe Ed Fundies. Yeah, that concludes the housekeeping. Excellent. Glad we got one on this show.
This one then.
I haven't heard the prayer in a while.
So we had Jose on the last show. What's his issue?
He's got, he's running his stream or his hangout now, and he's basically was trying to promote his show through your show.
Yeah, I think this is like WWF or something.
Topper came in kicking and screaming, Jose. Funny that.
I go over there sometimes. Slick James is over there. Who else? Emo Chemo goes over there sometimes. If you've ever been on Jim Panda's Discord server, it's basically Jim Panda's Discord server people.
I'm very familiar. I've been and watched Jose's show a couple of times.
Yeah, it's I'll be honest, it's fun just because he does get a lot of ballers on there, and it's mostly ballers. So we usually only have 1 to 2 flat earthers. There's a guy named BB who's a flat earther who goes over there. But he's from the Discord server too. But
Travis, I always wondered when I was on that show, every time I said something, you piped up right behind me and said something. Now I think I understand why.
Travis isn't here.
Did you mean Travis?
Whoever the guy is on with the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, that's Travis.
The plain truth.
Yeah, I was pretending to be Travis earlier. It wasn't really him.
Oh, that's why the confusion. Now it makes sense. So someone was pretending to be Travis. That was Chris. So what was your point, though, that he would immediately follow you up after your point was made on other shows?
Well, no, every time I start to speak, he would cut me off, like jump in. And I kept asking him, I was like, why are you doing this? And now I understand. But like I said, now, if that was just somebody else pretending to be him while he was boosting Arwen, I apologize. But whoever was pretending to sound like Travis or be Travis or who I thought was Travis, I apologize to them for defending you, Snake.
What? What did I do? I was just making lunch.
What do you mean, what did you do? You forgot you were a snake already?
Oh, you mean that I sniped you during the show because you were making a scene?
So you get to decide what a scene is?
Yeah.
Well, where did you get this power from?
called discernment.
It's called a snake.
No, it's called discernment. It's what you get
Snake.
when you go beyond just experiencing thing and actually start
Well,
to
let me ask you this.
extrapolate
Why
as to how things work and where they will go. Something you don't like to deal with, Stick James.
Right. But why didn't you
Right.
let Nathan
So I
decide
got it, and you don't.
Okay, so
Because
why didn't you
just
let
want to
Okay, go ahead,
experience
keep
everything
talking.
and don't draw any conclusions from them. That's
Why
what I
didn't
wanted.
you let Nathan handle his own show? And if he felt that I was being disruptive, he could have kicked me himself or muted me or asked me not to disrupt. Why did you decide to play host? Is this your show too?
Just a little bit, but yeah,
It
I do
is.
get meddlesome sometimes. I admit it. It's not a
Exactly.
good character trait, but what
It's
can
a
you do?
snake trait. It's a snake trait is what
Oh,
it
I'm
is.
sorry.
You don't have to apologize to me. You're the snake.
Ooh.
And then
Now
you
I
try to keep it a secret, or when you did try to keep it a secret after, that's pretty snaky.
Sorry? Can't hear you.
You tried to keep the fact that you sniped them a secret, which is snaky.
Not really. I talked about it in the open. I just wanted to push it in his face right away.
Who was
I
who
have
was
the
this?
text.
I know, Flat Earth. I sent it to you.
But you said everybody was happy that you did it. Who was this everybody? Name a couple names.
Oh, well, guess what? I'm not that much of a snake. I don't rat out people.
Right. You don't rat out your other snakes so you can all stay in the darkness together, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're in a snake's nest.
All right.
Stick
I'm
James.
done with this dude. I'm done with this guy.
Yeah, you are. You're absolutely done.
All right, we're gonna get off on a tangent
Ready to
again.
be served for dinner. Little mouse.
Nathan, I'd like to present something.
Yes, please.
All right, so I'll go ahead and do a screen share.
Who was that breathing
So-
then? Just out of interest.
That
who
was-
was it? Who
That was me,
just...
sorry.
Oh, is that? Oh, okay, I thought it was Arwen.
No, it was me. I was trying to get my thoughts together. So the last couple of days, I've been doing research on gas pressure gradient based on Good Times for All's video that he did. In fact, I have it up. I have it up here because I want to give him sort of credit for my trek down this research. And so, obviously, you've been plugging this video and talking about it. And I mean, this demonstration alone debunks, the baller claim that you can't have a gas pressure gradient in a container by itself. So pretty much you can point them to this video and sort of go about your day. But I wanted to do more research and see what there was to this, because I really didn't know why he did what he did or why it would cause a change in the gas pressure itself. So after I watched this video, I noticed he was taking this sort of like down here, it's like I don't know, not a blow dryer, but like one of those, a heater or something, and he was heating up the outside of the containerized, pressurized tank here. And I thought, okay, well, so obviously if he's changing the temperature, well, that must have something to do with the gas pressure inside. So what I did was I went and I started Googling, and I Googled, to get this particular set of results, I Googled air pressure temperature. So then I came across several articles, in this one in particular, how does temperature affect barometric pressure? And then it says barometric pressure is synonymous with the term air pressure. Okay, so it's the same thing. Air pressure, gas pressure, barometric pressure, all the same thing when describing conditions in the atmosphere, and may also be referred to as atmospheric pressure. So yesterday, somebody was trying to get a got-ya on you by saying, oh, well, we're talking about atmospheric pressure. Well, it's all the same thing, right? And this article says as much. Okay, so I want to sort of skip down a little bit. Here it says, at higher altitudes, air pressure decreases because there are fewer air molecules pressing down from above compared with the air pressure at sea level. Okay, so that in and of itself is your gradient, right? So this article doesn't say the word gradient in it, but it's a logical deduction that they're talking about a gradient based on temperature. So let's dig a little bit further into it and see why we might have an air pressure or atmospheric gradient as we do in our atmosphere. So here it says, talking about warm temperatures. Okay, warm air causes air pressure to rise, right? So where is it warmest at? It's warmest at the surface, right? Warm air molecules collide, they exert force on each other. When gas molecules are heated, the molecules move more quickly, and the increased velocity causes more collisions. As a result, more force is exerted on each molecule, and air pressure increases. Okay. Temperature affects air pressure at different altitudes due to a disparity in air density. They're basically telling us that temperature is changing the density of the air molecules. And as we all, well, I can't say that, but what I will say is my opinion and my research is that what we know as gravity is all due to density, relative density, and buoyancy. And this basically is telling you as much for its impact on air molecules. Okay, this last is a little bit confusing, so I'm going to skip that. Okay, cool temperatures. Cool temperatures cause air pressure to drop. So what happens when you go from the hot surface and you rise in altitude, and it gets colder and colder and colder the higher you go, the air pressure is going, it's naturally going to drop because of the colder temperature.
Hold on, Chris, sorry, bear with me a second. A fake Arwin just joined. Did anybody spot that?
Are we going to get sniped?
Maybe, we'll see. Carry on anyway, Chris. If it does, we'll have to deal with it as it happens.
Okay. This must be a hot topic for them. They don't want this out. Okay. So basically, the theory is as the hot air on the surface as the air heats up on the surface, it causes more collisions. It's a higher gas pressure. It then rises, right? Hot air rises. We all know that. And as it rises into the colder temperature, it moves more slowly, and the pressure drops. The air is your gas pressure gradient, and as you mentioned, it's all about what is known as that dynamic system. We live in a dynamic system. The atmosphere is dynamic, weather is dynamic, and then down here, it talks about. Dang it! Oh, it's skipping around. Talks about what weather indicators, and it basically is going into the high pressure system, and low pressure system. And so that's the whole reason we can have high pressure and low pressure systems, in the same system, in the same atmosphere, or call it container, if you will, because of the difference in air temperature. And honestly, you can find article after article about this. It's not there's nothing, hidden about it, or secretive about it, rather. It's out in the open. What is the relation? Here's another article. What is the relationship between air temperature and air pressure? The pressure and temperature of any gas, including air, are directly proportional, according to Guy-Lussac's law. This law shows that if the mass and volume of a given sample are held constant, as the sample's temperature increases, so too will its pressure, and vice versa. This is because greater temperature causes the molecules of gas to have greater kinetic energy, which will result in an increased number of collisions with the walls of their container, increasing pressure. Okay, and time again, when I'm reading these articles, I'm seeing within the walls of their container, right? We always see within the walls of their container. So I won't read this article like I did the last. I don't want to be monotonous, but that's it. That's the cause of the gradient. It's temperature. So anybody who comes to you with saying, well, what about the gas pressure gradient? You can refer them to these articles, or you can use this knowledge and explain it yourself. It's a cycle. It's dynamic. That's all it is. There's no mystery to why we have a gas pressure gradient. It's all about hot temperature at the surface. As the molecules rise due to that temperature, they cool off as they get into the upper atmosphere, and then they spread out, and there's less kinetic energy, less movement, and the gas pressure decreases.
Excellent. I've just spammed the video that you put up first, which is Good Times for All, GUDTIMS, the number 4 ALL, Zachary Sabala, and his gas pressure gradient, obviously inside the necessary antecedent that must be present, the container. So I've spammed that in the link. I'll just show it as Chris has put it up on screen. So, oh no, maybe not. Pop it back on. There we go. So this is Zachary Sabala's video, just so you can go and reference it. I've spammed the chat with it.
So I just want to finish up, and we can move on if we want. But basically, what I did was I took knowledge, right, that this guy used, or the test that this guy did, and I took that information and said, well, why is that changing the pressure inside the tank? Why is temperature changing it, right? And then I went and did research on that and came to the understanding that temperature is directly proportional, or sorry, rather air pressure is directly proportional to air temperature. And it all makes sense when you understand that there's various temperatures on our Earth, you know, depending on where you are, etc. It's like whenever people show us in the last show, Wiggles brought up the CN Tower, okay? And I already knew that Rob Skiba had done that test, and he did that test based on research he had done. He found research that said our atmosphere, due to the trillions of gallons, there's literally trillions of gallons of water in the atmosphere that acts like refractive lens, okay? So when he did that research, he said to himself, wow, if the atmosphere is acting like a refractive lens, I wonder if I can do a test using, you know, an actual lens and get the same effect. And guess what? He got the exact same effect. So we're just using research and reasoning and logic to figure out, you know, the answers to a lot of these questions.
And you got to really learn the term long story short, guy.
I was just about to say, excellent presentation, Chris. Thank you very much. Very, very well done.
Yeah.
Thanks. Slick James. Slick James has he's got it. He's got his own personal issues. He comes on these shows. I used to look at read Slick James comments about this show, and they were almost always negative.
Yep.
So he's just got a negative attitude. I really don't care about that. I mean, I just want to talk about air pressure gradients, the shape of the Earth, and if he wants to go on about he doesn't have any beliefs and all this stuff, fine. But you know, that's on him.
What is your problem with the beliefs thing? Why do you have a problem with that?
Because it's not possible not to have certain beliefs. It's just
for
a
you.
fact.
It's not possible for no. You don't speak for me. You don't get to speak for me. What makes you think that you get to speak for me? What? I was talking to him, Snake.
Anyway,
what makes,
you seem like a really
what
big
makes you think that you get to?
Stop.
What makes you think you get to
I call
speak?
you by your name.
Okay, but I'm calling you by your identity.
All the time.
Snake.
Alrighty, Mouse.
Now I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Chris. Now, Chris, what makes you think?
I'm talking to you because you're being a dickhead, way out of order here. Stop it.
See, Slick, the difference is.
No, I'm asking you a question, Chris. What makes you think you can speak for me?
The difference between us is I come on.
I said, what makes you think that you can speak for me?
I come on this show and I present evidence that tries to show and answer questions about the shape of our Earth and the quantifications of our Earth that ballers say we can't answer. Okay, so they bring up gas pressure gradient. Well, I've answered gas pressure gradient, or Good Times for All answered gas pressure gradient with his demonstration. I explained why he did what he did and why we have the gas pressure gradient. You come on and say things like, well, I don't have any beliefs. Okay, great. Nobody really cares about that. You don't provide any evidence to the contrary for these claims.
What makes you think you speak for me?
What evidence have you provided to prove the shape of our Earth?
What evidence have you provided?
I just provided some.
Okay, so what was the evidence? What was it?
Gas pressure gradient.
Okay, so what evidence is that? What does that mean?
It means that we can have a gas pressure gradient within a container.
No kidding.
Are you going to get to a point, Slick James?
Am I talking to you, Snake?
No, I'm talking to you, little mouse.
Now, you got enough darkness to deal with. You should be concerned about that rather than acquiring some more. Now, Chris, I'm going to ask you again, what makes you think you speak for me? Because you don't. I speak for me, not you and not this snake that's talking right here. You got it?
Yeah, I got it. I mean, you're a great addition to this conversation, by the way. You bring a lot of evidence and counterclaims to the ballers. It's fantastic. I don't know. I look. My whole point is I try and do these tests myself. I've done Cavendish twice. I presented it on here twice. I've done water density tests with, you know, Phuket Words done the egg. I used a carrot. I attempted Foucault pendulum. I went and bought a pendulum and I set it up, and it just was total horse shit. Oh, sorry, horse crap. And I didn't even continue it because of that. So I don't know. My point is I'm trying to bring, you know, some sort of evidence to this conversation. I go to Jim Panda's Discord, and it's not easy to go there because it's usually, you know, 10 to 1, 15 to 1, and it's hard to get, you know, a word in edgewise. But I do my best. I was talking about this the other day. They didn't like it. They got mad. They said I was cherry picking the article because that article does say that weight, you know, we have weight due to gravity, and that's fine. But that wasn't my point. That's if we would talk about why we have gas pressure. I was talking about why we have gas pressure gradient. And the reason we have gas pressure gradient is temperature. It's a simple fact. So they can moan all they want about gravity, but that doesn't have anything to do with the gradient.
How many on the panel believe creation or evolution? Simple question. Is evolution or creation? There's no in between. Evolutionist or a creationist?
I think they're opposite sides of the same coin.
Opposite sides. Well, Jesus was crucified in the middle to bring them opposite sides together. And you can't understand that, can you?
I can relate to that.
Opposites have an attraction, so they say. So why was Jesus crucified in the middle of the two opposing sides?
Exactly.
To bring them together in not a religion, in a way. Religion is just a word, and it's just make-believe, and what all the Kabbalists and since time begun, they've got you to worship the gods and all this, that, and the other. So there's only a way, and we were shown the way 2,000 years ago. Now, whether you believe it or not, that's up to you. I do care, but I'd love you to care. But we were shown the way, and the Bible was written, and there was a couple of books before the Bible, before 1612, 1611. So all the scriptures that were written before the Bible, they are foreseeing what's going on now in this world. They told us what was going to happen, and it is happening now. And if anybody is so blind to see what's going,
sorry to interrupt, AJ. Bear with me a second. Bear with me. Just want to say hello to one of you guests. Hey, Christopher.
Hi, how are you?
Very well. Good to have you.
Yeah. Good to be here.
Nice one, Chris. Yeah, but all I'm saying is, if people are so blind, and what Hollywood, NASA, what these Kabbalists, Israel, the whole world, what they're doing to the people and the masses, if you can't see what's getting programmed into you daily, doing your slave jobs, you know, you're lucky to get 2 weeks away. You've got to ask the authorities whether you can take your kids away on holiday and this, that, and the other. You know, they're enforcing vaccines on us now. We've got chemtrails. You know, the signs are here. We are in the season. Now, whether you think this is just a big Masonic lie and, you know, these religious fanatics are just doing it to get us all in fear, well, that's up to you. But we were told about this 500 years ago, maybe
You
more.
might say that this is a time where darkness is being exposed to the light. So those who operate in darkness, they're being exposed to the light. Now that's the time that we're living in.
Well, you could talk about the Dark Ages. What were the Dark Ages? Nobody's really
No, hold on. Not the Dark Ages. The people that operate in darkness, they're being brought to the light.
When you say the people who worked in darkness, you mean they were practicing darkness?
Right. People like Arwen, that's kind of like an example. People who operate in darkness are being brought to the light.
Stop slandering me.
No, I know where you're coming from, Slick. You know, you got Gnostics, you got Seers, you know, you got Sophia. It's all Kabbalism. Everything, Sophia, the whole works is all Kabbalism. You know, this world is built from sin, from the original sin. And, you know, people say it's 20 million years old or whatever. It's all rubbish. You know, we can trace back the dates to when the earth began. You know, it's being documented, and people have actually documented from the beginning of time to the present day. And okay, you got maths to sort out flat earth and the curve calculator, which people will do, but you got other people who will go into the aspects of how old the earth is, you know, and they come out with all these, you know, this is 20 million years old, and you know, it's just ridiculous.
All those things are nothing but guesses. All of this stuff about right, because there's another possibility that it always existed. It never had a beginning and never will have an ending. That's a possibility also that no one is willing to discuss.
Hey, Anon.
No, you can't have a beginning without an end, and you can't have an end without a beginning. So, you know, you're going into the realms of, you know, getting your mind. You know, you cannot have a beginning without an end, and you can't have an end without a beginning.
Sorry, was that Christopher?
Got to be a beginning of everything. You know,
okay,
they say it's a big bang. So if it was a big bang, just say, for instance, just let's humour them and say it was a big bang. Well, who created the big bang? Was it gases? Well, who created the gases and all this stuff that they're saying out of space that created the big bang? There's got to be a design. Who designed these gases out in space to cause a big bang? There's got to be a creation.
Yeah, AJ's here.
Because
I think whenever
you can't just get nothing out of nothing. Or
Go ahead,
something out of nothing, sorry.
Go ahead, Christopher.
Something has got to be created.
AJ, you keep repeating the same thing over and over.
Yeah, but I've got to repeat because it doesn't sink in, Nathan, to some people.
Sure, but Christopher's trying to add something to it.
Yeah, sorry, Chris.
Go ahead, Christopher.
Oh, it's all right. I don't think or how they do tests to see how old the Earth is and is actually. It doesn't do justice for whenever all this stuff was put in place by, if you believe God did it or anybody else, because it's like a car. The car could be 2 years old. It got manufactured 2 years ago, but the materials that was used to make that car are way older than that car. So you
just said manufactured, the word manufactured. Now, what does manufactured mean? Does manufactured mean created?
In a sense, it means
in a sense, right. So if you manufacture something, you're creating something, aren't you?
But what I'm trying to say is this: the way they test,
manufacture, you're going on another design.
Well, you can go test a rock.
Unless it's your own design. But in manufacturing, you're copying something of a copy of a copy. Right? So where did the original copy come from?
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how they're judging the age of the Earth and things like that. It's like it's a lot more complicated than that.
Yeah, but
just
at the end of the day, does the age of the earth matter? We're here and now. We're here and now in this world. If you're so blind and you can't see what's going on around the world, and about, you know, what's going on in the sky, what's going on with vaccines, what's going on with the food, what's going on with Hollywood, what's going on with the politicians, what's going on with fake Brexit, Alex Jones, Joe Rogan. If you can't see what's going on with the Zionist agenda and the Jesuit agenda and Satan, who basically runs the Vatican and the whole world, well, you know, I'll pray for you, mate. Simple. I don't hate you.
Pray for me?
You know, I don't hate nobody. But you need eyes and ears to see and hear of what's going on around the world, the programming. And people think this third temple in Israel is a building. God doesn't dwell in the buildings, my friends. God dwells in all of you.
Okay,
You are that
as
third
much as you,
temple,
AJ, as much as you, AJ,
you
as
are
much,
the third
AJ,
temple.
as
I'll
much
shut up, mate.
as much as you disagree with him, there was almost a segue for me to get us back onto flat Earth when he was talking about the age of the Earth.
Sorry, Nathan.
No, you don't have to apologise. You know, it's not that your point's invalid. It's just that I'm looking for that opening to get us back onto flat Earth. No offence.
Well, a lot of people. I'll chime in a second. A lot of people don't like the religious talk or the God talk. And dealing with flat Earth, getting a little bit of feedback, and everybody.
Yeah, can you pop yourselves on mute if you're not talking?
Why if you're saying about God, why is it? No, hang on, you mentioned God. Hang on a minute. You mentioned.
I didn't say anything.
No, you did. But why do people hate the idea of a creator? Why is that? You know, they're so wrapped up in this ball theory and evolution and the Jesuit. You know, why can't you let your minds go a little bit out of, you know, this ball thing?
Because they want to be the creator. It's well defined.
Of course, Elgin. Nice one, fella.
Because a creator puts limitations on things. We can only, our limitations are only expanded, and we can only expand it as much as the creator would allow when you have a creator.
AJ, you've got to let other people have a conversation. You can't let them get to their first breath and then interrupt. You've got to let people make a point.
So, I mean, I was at the end of it there, but yeah, it's pretty much the reason why people, what I've taken from a lot of atheists that I've talked to, a lot of people that believe in God and, you know, turn from him in their own way. It's they rebel because they feel like there's rules and stipulations and they've got to follow a certain path in order to get where they need to go. And people don't like that. They rebel against it. And whenever you have one person pop up that feeds that to rebel, it's kind of like a virus. It spreads, and people will latch on to lies or anything that will go against that, regardless if it's true or not. That, you know, that's just what I've seen in the world and what, you know, I've experienced from people. It's a rebellion thing. It's not necessarily they don't know the truth. It's internally deep down in their heart. They know something is off, something's not right, but they don't want to admit it, because then they'll have to admit that, you know, like the things that they do are wrong. You know, if you admit that there is a creator, you've got to admit that he's got rules, and people don't like rules. I mean, look at us in society today with, you know, all these rules that we have. We're just bombarded and swarmed with them, and people rebel against them. It's just what, you know, human nature is.
True, yeah. I know what you're saying about rules, and we're governed by rules.
Yeah, and if you believe in God, you're governed by 10 of them. You're governed by 10 rules.
Yes, but then, hold on, then 10 rules. Thou not lie, thou shalt not steal, thou not shalt covet another person's goods, thou shalt not bear false witness. I could go on with the other 6. But what I'm saying is, them rules, are they so hard to apply? That's what I'm asking. God's given us 10 rules, which are 10 rules, which are so, they're not hard to just comply with. Do not steal. Do not lie. Do not covet somebody else's goods.
Yeah, but number 10 is thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's slaves. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's slaves.
Thy neighbour's goods. In other words, do not when you say do not covet thy neighbour's goods, if something happens to your neighbour, don't think that you can go into your neighbour and say, well, they're mine, because they're not yours. It's basically stealing in a double sort of thing.
But
we were given 10 commandments, but Jesus came with a second covenant for love, forgiveness, and repentance.
What about the slaves? Thou shalt not covet neighbours' slaves, animals, or anything else.
No.
Can I ask a clarifying question, Nathan?
Sure.
Are you when you ask that about do not covet the neighbor's slaves? Are you saying that? What are you saying? I guess what are you implying by that question?
Thou shalt have not any.
AJ, I'm asking Nathan.
Sorry, go on.
Let Nathan respond.
Well, the implication being that the neighbours accepted that they have slaves. That's how I read it. Well, that's how I interpret it, I should say.
Okay, Nathan, human slaves are not goods. In God's eyes, they are not goods.
But you shouldn't covet thy neighbour's slaves.
And but we're all slaves in a way. We're all slaves, to be honest.
Hang on.
The system
hang on,
as well.
Go on, Paul. See if you can contextualise it. I'm certain you can.
To me or
yeah,
AJ?
you definitely.
Okay. Yeah, there's in the Bible. There's different types of slavery. Like there's an indentured slave. Like if you owed a debt, you endeared yourself to the owner to pay back the debt. And there was even provisions for like if you wanted to continue working for that person, then you can stay there. You're still a slave, you're a servant. So like if you say, well, I want your employee, or I want this person that's really good. That could be the context. There was also slaves that were taken in war. There's that aspect of slavery. And then also there was the typical slavery where you just take someone into slavery. Now in that Middle Eastern culture, we don't accept that today, but they did in that culture. So when Moses talks about, don't covet your person's slave, it's a cultural, contextual thing. So it doesn't mean necessarily all forms of slavery are bad, but I think some forms of slavery are bad.
I see.
So.
No, I think P-Brain in the chat has just contextualised it quite nicely. It says, God tells us, quote, the borrower is the slave to the lender. In other words, don't borrow and don't lend. Be neither master nor slave. But that's presumably not to say, when you contextualise it, that if somebody is a slave because they owe somebody money, that you shouldn't ultimately take advantage of your neighbour's slave in that context just because they are a slave to that neighbour.
You got it right, Nathan. Be neither slave nor master, just be a teacher.
Well, that's not me, that was P-Brain in the chat. Shout out to P-Brain.
No, but I'm saying what you said was sort of right. Be not a slave, be not a master, just be a teacher.
Fair enough, very good sentiment. I thought there would be that. I didn't understand the context, but I'm glad we discussed it.
It's like what you're doing, Nathan. I respect exactly what you're doing, mate, to wake up people of a lie. Simple. Okay, a lot of people give you a lot of flack because you're so adamant and you're so forthcoming of the way you put it forward. Well, if they don't like it, go somewhere else. Jose come in and had to go at you. I thought, well, why is he doing that? Is he trying to promote his own show or something? There's no need for that. Let Nathan do what Nathan does. If you don't like it, let somebody else with some more intelligence come in and have a go and try and tackle Nathan on Nathan's beliefs and his, on his brain. Simple. I'm all for you, Nathan, mate.
Yay.
Honestly, mate, if they can't get enough,
we're going to talk about fire.
With some brains to come in and have a good conversation and a good scientific talk with you, you know, it's all nonsense to me because they're getting these clowns coming in and they're trying to tackle you with your science, which is all true, by the way. But, you know, I don't know, Nathan, to be honest. You know, sometimes I crack up, sometimes watching it. But anyway, I'll shut up.
No, it's Anon's hopefully going to segue us into flat earth talk. I'll take all the compliments all day, though.
Yeah, I'm just saying what I say, Nathan. You know, people know what they're in for when they come into your chat. Simple. And for Jose to come in and have a go at you, saying, "Oh, Nathan's this, he bullies them and that." Well, if you don't want to get bullied, don't come into the chat. Simple. If you're going to come into the chat, come in prepared and know what you're going to say. And have a go at Nathan with your science and whatever, and then Nathan will just rip you apart.
Hey, Pillbox. Long time
So
no
that's
see.
what I'm saying. I'll let the guys chat on anyway.
Hey, Pillbox.
What is going on, Nathan Oakley and the panel?
I could bring it back.
I guess not too much.
Yeah.
There's normally you don't normally leave such a long pause, Pillbox.
That was the longest time I've ever had a chance to speak in my life. I should have taken it. What's going on, AJ?
Sound fella. Sound.
Hey, what's going on with you? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, mate. I'm just in a bit of a quadruple today because I got ancient race course. I live right by ancient race course. I've got all the sheep running around to spend the money and lose the money, so.
Oh, that's okay. Money's an illusion anyway.
I know that. It's a usury system, mate.
It's an experience.
Oh, it's an experience. I'm going to make a claim. I'm surprised nobody's asked me. Yeah, I guess most people must know me, but you know, it's possible to know the Earth is flat. AJ, you know that?
It is possible to know.
It is. Knowledge is a beautiful thing. Would you not agree?
It's how you use that knowledge. For me, it's how you use that knowledge.
Exactly. Just look at all the frauds and scam artists and flat Earth that know the Earth is flat but are taking advantage of people.
Oh yeah, of course I know exactly where you're coming from, buddy. There's a lot of them.
Really?
But it's a game, innit? It's a game, and you got to root out the agents. You got to root out. Well, I don't like that word, agents.
Hey, MJ. MG, don't poison the well. You're poisoning the well.
I'm going to intentionally ask him to.
Oh man, okay.
The well was well poisoned.
Paul's talking about Sodom and Gomorrah, telling me not to pee on Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm not Nathan Oakley. There's no way Nathan Oakley is fake. I'm going to put my name on this.
Nathan is not.
Listen. If Nathan Oakley was pretend. Yeah, AJ, listen, if Nathan Oakley was pretending, he'd be the greatest actor that ever lived. He would make Clark Gable look like Infinite Post Society. I mean, come on, let's get real. There's no way Nathan's that good. They're giving him way too much credit. Come on.
No, I studied Pillbox after I finished high school. So I went on to doing further education.
Nathan's a good lad.
Wait, hold on, AJ. Hold on. Nathan's gonna tell me something.
Go on.
Do you know I studied after standard education? My further education was in performing arts.
Ooh. Right, I say, listen, I know Nathan's taking acting lessons. I'm sure he was interested in production and all these things. I don't care. There's no acting teacher on earth that could make somebody formulate the scientific method, actually use the text, use their formulations, and use it against them. I can only think of a handful of other people that have done it. But to do it consistently for this many months, a year and a half, there's no way. Guys, I'm sorry, Nathan Oakley knows the Earth is flat. I'm assuming he knows it. That's my claim.
Well,
so you don't believe the Earth is flat, you're saying?
Yeah, I know it is, but that's why I took such offence yesterday with Brenda, or for the people watching this on Sunday, on Thursday, 3 days ago. Anyway, but Brenda came in and said, "Oh, Nathan knows the Earth's a sphere." And it's the comparison I drew, Pillbox, and I'll make it slightly different, was to say that you as a Christian, if I accused you of being a Sikh, you'd find that pretty offensive, would you not?
Absolutely. Yep.
Right. So the same applies to me. You know, it's not a belief system, but I see their belief system forced upon me as extremely offensive.
I think that's good, and I think that it's a great thing that you hold a standard. You know, Paula and I, we call you the enigma because there's not a lot of people out there that are willing to hold that standard to both sides. And I'm going back to the blow up with the whole flat earth nonsense and the disagreements. I don't necessarily completely understand what these guys are trying to do. I don't dislike, the globe buster people because I think they're just part of this world, and I see what they're doing. They're part of this world. But what I can't understand is how so many people don't see the benefits of holding the same standard to both sides. That's honestly, to me, the most important part about what happened at the beginning of this year, Nathan. Not that I'm saying that you do everything right, but this one thing that you did as far as holding both standards is something I don't ever see. You'll never see, in any sort of debate or conversation with an evolutionist or an atheist or even most of these flat earthers, when it comes to their own side, they immediately start changing their tune, and they'll make an exception, and it's disgusting because it's lying. It's a form of deceit, and you were able to surpass that. You have this standard. You're going to hold their feet to the fire, and you do get angry about it, and I understand it, because why would we not have the same standard across the board?
Yeah, I didn't want to do it though. It cost me dearly. I lost a lot of subscribers, I'll be honest.
Well, that's actually a good thing, and I know that right now that you're interested in making the money. You've been honest about that as well. One of the few people that's honestly saying, listen, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm good at, in so many words, and this is what I'm going to make money at. And you know what? I can't blame you for that. You had a question under your breath, Nathan, earlier when I said the frauds in flat earth. I'm actually talking about the fake Christians that I know personally, not people like Robbie Davidson. I don't know him well enough. I don't know what his deal is. I think he got fooled. If I had to guess, it's obvious that he was fooled by this weirdo that is popular on the internet, and I can't make any assertion past that, but there are a lot of fakes, and the only reason I know is because I've known them, Nathan. Patricia Steer, for an example, I think she's a person that's doing things for herself. I think she likes what she does. I don't know her, but do I trust her? No, I don't trust anybody, but it's a big mess because the flat earth has proven that it's not really a solution for anything except for a few small groups of people or a few small individuals that know, oh, okay, I can attach this to now God's word, and that's when it really becomes important, in my opinion, honestly. I'm not saying the flat earth is really just a solution. It pretty much proves that there's only one solution, and that's the word of God, because people can wake up to the flat earth and be completely retarded still and be complete criminals and attack and scoff and hate. So it's a beautiful truth, though. I love the great deception. Great time to be alive.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you just pop yourself on mute, AJ? You're causing a bit of feedback.
Sorry, mate.
No worries.
I was just about to talk, actually. As you were saying, MJ, about Patricia Steer. Now that's a character, isn't it? She is a character.
Listen, hold on. You're saying Patricia Steer. I don't know Patricia Steer, so I can't make claims. I've met her in chats, and she's seen me, and I've talked to her maybe just for a split second. I don't know her well enough, and it doesn't matter. It's not important that we concentrate on individuals and say this person is doing this person is doing that, and all good time it's going to be revealed anyway, AJ, and we're to obviously focus on people that are hating us and attacking us. Listen, if Patricia Steer went out and started saying that Pillbox is a murderer and he's the greatest threat to us, then maybe I'd have a bigger problem with her, but she's not doing that. She's not attacking Knowledge Scavenger in the chat every time Knowledge Scavenger brings up a Bible verse like other people. The people that are attacking and hate, those are the people I got to deal with, AJ. If people are shills out there but they're remaining quiet and being respectful, then they can be shills and they're going to continue to be quiet and be respectful, and we can play the game. I don't mind playing the game, but it's the hate that I can't stand, AJ.
Can I ask you both a question? Because, mainly Pillbox. So the two names you've mentioned would be two people that I would only judge purely on the fruit of their labour. Now, I've got a different relationship with Patricia Steer than I have with Robbie Davidson. I know Patricia Steer much, much better as a personal friend. So we'll start with Robbie. What surprised me with Robbie is that if I take Robbie's work and look at it as a whole, he has done a massive amount, a huge amount of work, gambled financially, and maybe it's paid off, maybe it hasn't. It's irrelevant. Just the sheer amount of work he has put into this subject is immense. And it's all good, and it's all positive. He's a very, very positive person. Hardworking, positive, all good things. Now, he makes what is perceived to the outside as a mistake. Now, others, Slick included, who's on the panel right now, doesn't see it that way. So there's obviously a mixed bag of opinion, to at least some extent, about whether or not the outcome of Logan Paul at the convention was good or bad. But ultimately speaking, there was a convention. And that was down to Robbie Davidson's actions. But all of it gets forgotten about so quickly when there's some minor infraction perceived by the audience. Suddenly all of the good work gets forgotten about, all of his hard work, sweat, blood and finance. That's all put to one side because it's just about the one detail that he may or may not have got wrong. And I've got to be honest, it really winds me up because it's just so unfair. The next example is Patricia Steer. And now she comes up on after you mentioning, people who are bad, in essence. And then all you can do is give examples of how she's not bad, how she's not divisive, how she's not pouring scorn on people. And I can't think of any examples where she has. But yet she still comes up in these conversations like there is some example of it out there. And there isn't. There just simply isn't. I can't think again by the I'm nearly there. Just based on her actual work, what she's actually done, I can say she's a genuinely good, honest, hard-working, flat earther. That's her main motivation in what she's doing. So I don't understand why she's being bought into this group of potential shills, like there's suddenly going to be a massive list of things that you can put up against her name that would indicate that when there isn't.
No.
Right, and before AJ talks, I know he wants to talk, is that I don't think we should be putting much effort into worrying about individuals. I mean, do we not trust that people who want to know the truth are going to know the truth? I mean, are people really scared that Patricia Steer is going to Godzilla this entire movement and ruin everything and kill everybody? Like what is she going to possibly do? Who is she going to hurt? That's my point.
Yeah, another good point. But
you're not seeing the bigger picture, are you?
Say again, AJ.
Listen, AJ, I don't trust anybody. It's all a deception. I'm just saying I'm going to go and have problems with the hate, and it's all a deception, AJ. I know where you're going.
I know that. I know it's all a deception, but do you know that God works in mysterious ways? That Satan.
Well, I say God works in amazing ways, AJ.
He doesn't even say. Well, put it this way: Satan didn't know that God come in the back door, did he? And God made himself into man, which humans and Satan's disciples can't get their heads around, that God made himself man. And they want to make themselves God because they can't, because God cut them all in chains, simple. And they're trying all the best and all the Gnostic Kabbalah stuff to try and, Lucifer is the prince of the air of this world. He owns this world. Simple. We are in Lucifer's and the satanic world. Simple. But God will come and reclaim the New Jerusalem. Simple. That's all I'm saying.
Amen, sir. Thank you, AJ. Nathan, I put a link in the back chat. I made a nice video for some of the flat earthers to kind of dwell on. It's pretty long. I thought it would be interesting because no one else has really done it. No one else has really put together some footage on a plane and shown all kinds of observations in this manner. So if you would, Nathan, you should probably check it out. You definitely use it more than once and it would make a great background. But when I did this, it was definitely answered prayers, and shout out to Paula Knowledge Scavenger for her help. But we caught some things that no one else has, and it's a beautiful truth. And if you're interested, there's the link.
The thing is, people in this day and age now are so wrapped up in money, fame, idolatry, and half of them don't even realize what they're doing.
Sorry, where did you say that?
Even though they're doing it, they don't realize that there's something pushing them to do it.
Sorry, where did you say that link was, Pillbox? Because
I put it in the back chat, the room that I get added to when I join the Hangout.
Yeah, I can't get to that. I can only get to the front chat, if you want to call it that.
Okay, I tried to put it in the front chat, and it would not let me paste it. So I left, came back, and for some reason the glitch is when you leave and come back, it has the old Google style. I don't get it. Yeah, this Google system is screwed up.
Oh, there we go. Is that it, Paul? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's about 27 minutes long.
But is it mainly
That's
images?
it.
Or is it like, let's have a look. Okay, so it's like a trip on a plane.
Right, and there are many things that are seen on this trip that have never been documented in Flat Earth. We have yet to see a lot of those things, but I kind of don't want to give it away because there's 27 minutes. There's actually a lot more. There's even some chemtrails and some flybys of some other planes. There's even watching a sunset, and something else happens right in the middle that I want to see if anybody else notices, because I had to go through it about 5 or 6 times to see everything, and actually every time I go through it I see something else. But it's a great upload. It's comprehensive, it's elaborate, and no one else did this, so I had to, and it's a beautiful thing. Yep, blood always finds its level.
Cool, very cool indeed. Okay, well, with that, I think I'll actually take the opportunity to round out the live show. So if you're watching this on Nathan Oakley 1980, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. If you're watching this on the Nathan Oakley live stream, then unfortunately this is where we bid you farewell. A massive, huge, enormous thank you to all of you who tuned in to this live debate. Also a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you need to keep yourself occupied after this debate is over, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
I can't see it myself, but more than happy to discuss it.
I've got it up on screen for the audience in the after show, so as we were rounding out the show, I had the video playing. It's just I had it played locally just because the resolution's so much better. If I try and share it through the Hangout, it's basically my screen capture for OBS, just because you can get better quality. The only downside being that if I'm actually sharing what I'm sharing with you in the Hangout to the audience, it lowers the resolution. So to save that being a problem, I've just got it presented locally with me, but the audience is literally watching it now when it goes out on Nathan Oakley on Sunday. So on Nathan Oakley 1980, which is where this will be playing, literally as you're talking now, there'll be this video playing in the background, and I'm happy to keep it playing all the way through during this next conversation or whatever, you know what I mean?
Sounds good, Nathan. Yeah, I think you'll like it. It's amazing. You know, you go up, you do these observations, then you actually look at the footage, and then you can actually see what I didn't even realize what I was seeing. It was a 2-hour flight from Seattle to LA. Man, I don't even want to give it away, because I would like to see other people find the things that happen in this video. I will give one hint. I finally figured out what the Twilight Zone is. It's honestly, it is just so beautiful, and all the glory goes to God, Nathan. I know that we don't see eye to eye on that, but it's been a long time coming. It took me 4 years to do this. You know, the first time I had photography from an airplane was in 2014, and that was all it took to change my life. But I had to do this for a couple of reasons. So yeah, I hope to see the guys talk about it. Slick James Johnson, it'd be good to hear his point of view too, since he's very unorthodox, and that's why I like Slick. Even though we probably don't agree on anything, he's a cool guy. So yeah.
Well,
I got a question for Pillbox.
Hey John, just before you do ask that question, I'd be, because it is playing Pillbox, give it all away. Don't hold back. I'd be much more grateful if you do tell us what's in it, so that it's.
Well, okay. Well, the beginning, it starts off slow. The beginning part, makes it so Zender owes me $5,000 as we see the angle of attack change, and so the beginning part is really simple. Obviously, I wanted to get a start from finish, experience, like a first-person view, a general guide to what it's like when you look around in an airplane, like what's going to happen when I look out the other side of the plane, on the right side, since I'm obviously on the left. Like, if there's going to be curve, shouldn't there be some obvious things? Like I shouldn't see some certain things off the right side of my plane, right? My perspective is obviously going to be more limited. I don't see the video up right now. I think I actually have to go on your live screen to see where you're at right now.
So hi John, by the way, good to have you.
Hello. I'll hold my question. Just go ahead.
Yeah, another 30 seconds. So yeah, it is being showed. So when this plays for the audience in Nathan Oakley 1980, they are literally, as I speak, watching your video. So we're about what, 4, 5, maybe 6 minutes into this video. You're zooming in and out from the plane wing, having a look around.
Right.
So yeah, that's what's playing.
So,
I know you can't see it in the Hangout, but it is genuinely.
Right. So pretty soon, I think the first moment when I'm realizing that I'm going to be showing things and I'm going to have to pay attention and not drop the camera is the chemtrail next to me. So I think that's about 6 minutes in or so. So if you're saying 6 minutes in, it's real close. And first, I couldn't believe it. Just to get me started was this chemtrail right next to me, and I couldn't see the plane. Didn't see the plane, and the thing that dawned on me was that, wow, they're doing this so low, because in Seattle the cloud cover is so thick, they're spraying these chemtrails at like 10-15,000 feet because nobody can see it. I don't know if it's showing up yet though.
See if I can share it with you, because I can still present it the way I am. Let's just give that a go.
Roger that. Yeah, I'm seeing your screen right now. Yep, I can see it change.
I'll do it entire screen. About this for a second. Should be getting video feedback, right?
Yeah, I got you. Yep, I see the infinity matrix. Yep, there it is.
So can you see that now in the Hangout?
Yes.
Yep, roger that. Yep.
Okay, well, just give me another 10 seconds. I'll share it with John, and then everyone can see.
Well, there's the chemtrail right there. You can't miss it. There it is.
Oh yeah, cool. Good timing. So, John, you've got a question for Pillbox.
Yeah, hey, Pillbox, it's Quantum Eraser. What's going on, man?
What up, player John? What's going on with you?
Player.
Good to hear
I
you're
got
not
a
the same
question.
person.
Right before you went off air, I was just going to go on my merry way, but I had
Oh,
to stop.
oh my God! This is Art. Did you hear Arwen? He experiences us the same person.
No, I didn't see. No, what did he say?
No, yeah, I was kind of joking around and saying that Pillbox was John when he's not in character. So the real John, without acting like he's a drill sergeant. Because you kind of have the same type of voices, but yeah, when you talk at the same time, that's good enough proof that you're two separate people.
That's us Europeans.
This is special voice changing equipment, Arwen.
They do sound similar.
Real quick, can I, if Slick is here,
Hold
can
on
I
a
address
second.
Slick
I didn't
for
get
a
my
second?
question out.
John, you cannot
You're never
answer.
going to get there, John.
My word. Can you?
I haven't been able to speak. I've been at work, man. Let me say something real quick.
Okay.
So
Can you hold on tight for a minute?
Oh, there we got the map on the screen, Nathan, so we get a verification of where we are and how fast we're traveling. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I was, like I said, I was gonna leave. After the show was over, I was just gonna go do my thing and everything being equal. But you said something. Maybe I misheard. But did you say blood always seeks its level?
I said blood always finds its level, sir. Why don't you go to that link and see what the channel name is?
Did you hear him, Nathan? It was
No. That's the name of the channel.
Is it?
Yeah.
Unbelievable, dude. All right. That's all I had. Go ahead, Vanilla.
I'm sorry. You didn't know I was a monster, did you, John? Yeah, so that's my channel right there. But I don't like to advertise it because I don't really want subscribers or people watching my channel. Just a couple of people.
Can I just say something a second? Has anybody seen the movie Glass? James McAvoy with so many split personalities.
Yes.
And he done that character brilliant. The accents he brought out, an Irish woman, a couple of other voices. Now these actors are so in tune with what they do. Now all I'm saying is Origin, what he said. Don't have a go at Origin for what he said.
Origin.
No, hang on, I haven't finished. I'm just saying, don't have a go at Origin for him.
You haven't finished. You talk for 30 minutes
I haven't finished. You're jumping in again.
You keep on pronouncing my name wrong, man.
All right.
Arwen. Arwen.
Sorry. Okay. You're having a go at Arwen for him thinking that certain people have certain characteristics that seem the same. Now, that does happen in real life. There is people out there that have split personalities, and also there are actors all around the world that do the same shit.
Yeah, but it's an easy comparison with Arwigen made the compare. Hold on a second. Arwigen made the comparison between me and MG Pillbox. Well, me and MG Pillbox have some things in common. He was in the military. I'm retired military. We're both Christian. We speak directly. Yeah. So those are some of the commonalities that we have.
Yes,
we both have about 150,000 heads on our walls from scoffers.
What you forgot to listen to what I was going to say was, I am not saying that what Arwigen is saying.
Arwigen, you said it again.
Okay, so you're jumping the gun. So you didn't let me finish. So what I'm saying is, what Arwigen is saying is true, but not true to what he's saying to you two. Okay. So before you start jumping the gun and having a go at Arwigen, maybe Arwigen was a bit ahead of himself about saying what he said.
Thank you for defending me, AJ. But they got the joke. It was.
I know where they know from, mate. I listen. I've got eyes. I've got ears. I listen the way the fucking gangs up, and I've got to defend people of innocence and truth.
Right. Well, it's mostly just like James.
I've got to get a word in there. Are you claiming Arwen is innocent?
Arwen is no actor. He's no gangster. He's no fucking Illuminati plant or anything. He just lives in the bed.
Not as far that I know of.
He just lives in the bed sit in Holland, like most people do, sit in their own places on a laptop. Like Richie from Boston, I'm just an arsehole with a laptop. That's what we all are. We listen, see what we take on YouTube, we take the best and we bin the rest. And if you can't bin the rest, well, that's up to you.
Agree to that.
But I've got a higher power that lets me see and hear other things that most won't see. So carry on, lads.
So who are the shills then, Pillbox?
As you notice here off the port side of the airplane, that is Lake Arwigen right there.
Lake Arwigen.
It's pretty, as you can see, it's pretty dried up. So, yep.
I love a good banter show, mate.
The shills, I mean, gosh, what does the word shill mean? I don't call them shills. I think that they, we're starting to see a little bit of a hint here on the left side. If you notice something kind of dark coming in, and that would be the twilight zone right there, and that's going to change pretty soon in the next 5 minutes or so.
I've seen that. I've seen that too from a plane window.
That?
I've seen that.
What was that movie? Fight with the Devil, wasn't it?
I do want to highlight that again, Pillbox, because it's on screen right now. This black band, this emerging dark, and Pillbox is saying that he's calling it the Twilight Zone. I quite like that.
Okay, right. Like, check this out. So when I first saw this, Nathan, I was like, "What the hell am I looking at? Like, is the end of the world?" I'm scared. I go to my wife. I go, "Look at this. What is that?" And we were kind of just baffled for a minute, and then I realized, oh that is night.
Yeah.
Approaching. It's the daylight not hitting anything right over there, and it comes into view.
It's night. That is night. And it's literally like a wall. I mean, you're seeing the edges of the sun's light. Yeah.
Correct. You're seeing the edges of the sun's reach. So that's as far as the sun can reach. It's too distant to reach that section that you can see. Obviously, if the area on the flat plane is in darkness, and you're higher up, you're going to see further and see the bit that's in darkness, and that's what it presents itself as. I mean, I remember seeing it as well.
You just assume the distance of the sun.
Nathan. No, not the sun. The sun. This is another one where I'm not making a claim. There it is. It's on screen. It's patently obvious. There it is.
Darkness and light merging is the point. I've never seen it from the air. Obviously, we can't see it on the ground. From this perspective.
You can. I've seen a video with a guy in a boat who shows it. And again, because he's in the middle of the water and it's really calm, he turns his camera around, he goes 360, and he can see the sunlight projecting down ahead of him, and the darkness coming from behind. It's absolutely crazy. But I've never seen that from the ground myself. Obviously, like I just said, it was on a boat that I saw the video of the same thing. But I had experienced it from the air, so I could resonate with what he was showing from his boat.
Check out the plane right there. That's just so I could see the traffic. But so the traffic starts to build up. That's one. And I noticed, okay, so no chemtrail from that plane. So for some reason, that didn't work there. But yeah, so Nathan, it doesn't just do that, obviously. It's going to get more drastic. And pretty soon we are literally going to be right in the middle of the line. And I'm trying to get the sunset because I know the sun's going away. So I keep trying to look out the starboard side, trying to, catch that sun. But it was getting difficult, but I eventually capture it later. You'll see it.
Have you ever seen the reverse? So
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, just before you do though, have you ever seen the dawn coming from a plane? That's equally spectacular.
No, I've never seen the dawn. No, I just got this crazy sunset. You're not going to believe it. Yeah, there's the second piece of traffic right there.
Can I ask my question for a moment?
Go ahead, Darwin.
Well, I was wondering, since on the Earth, apparently, the angular speed of the sun doesn't change really at any point, even at the horizon. Have you noticed any angular speed change variations from a high altitude, since you're in a plane and you spend there for some time? You could test this out, maybe. Is there an angular speed change to the sun?
Well, as you can see now, I finally captured the sun in the shot. The lady moved. I had to redo it. So I paused, hit record again. And I'm trying to capture right now, as you see, a couple feeble attempts. But that's a good question. I can't technically answer it with statistics, Arwen, but the sun was on my, right side for a very long.
Hey. Oh.
We lose Pillbox.
Yeah, he dropped, I think.
He'll be back.
I don't have a back chat open.
He'll be back. He's just
he's back.
Yeah, sorry about that. It seemed like the sunset took an hour and a half. I mean, it did take a very long time. So if you keep watching, you're going to see what happens, because after it goes dark, you're going to be, there's another piece of traffic. After it goes dark, you're going to be surprised what we see on the starboard side.
Have you ever thought why they picked the number 93 million miles away?
It's probably satanic, AJ.
I know. Exactly. I know all about
Okay, next question. Okay, so here we got the sun. Finally, I'm seeing, now look at this shot right here. Now, is this a double sun or a reflection? Wow. I think the sun on the bottom is the reflection. What do you think?
It's just a reflection at the bottom.
Yeah, it's a reflection.
Look at that, straight out the right side. Straight out the right side of the plane. It's not over.
It was a reflection in a lake right beneath it.
Yeah,
that's what
now remember, that's the Pacific Ocean. So everything on the right side is the Pacific Ocean. We are over California, I'm assuming by now.
You can tell that it's getting dark just from the interior.
Look at this.
You can see how much darker it is in the interior compared to when you started.
Now that sun's in the middle of the plane, Nathan. We got a serious issue here. This is at the right side of the plane. The sun's in the middle of the window.
Because it's holographic.
Yeah, but in the middle of the window means it's at the horizon. It's obviously going down, isn't it?
No, I know, that's what I'm saying, is that you look right, you see a horizon. You look left, you see the horizon. So this is not looking good for the globe. I mean,
yeah,
there's
it's the
really
same,
no way around it.
It's the same 360 degrees. That's what I always used to say when someone used to show me a alleged curve out of a window. It's like, well, if that curve continues, the other side of the plane would show a significant drop. But it doesn't. You've got the horizon at the same point on both sides of the plane and out the front of the plane.
Exactly, yes. We are surrounded by it's a visible ring, actually, because it's 360 degrees. So this is for AJ. When it says in the Bible, AJ, that God sits above the circle of the earth, I think that means that he's the only one that can see above the horizon. You ever thought about that? Because no matter where we are, we're going to have a ring around us. Well, that's a circle of the earth. It doesn't say the earth is a circle. It says the circle of the earth. And I think that's what we see when we go up. We see a horizon 360 degrees. Now it's really starting to get dark. So that's Northern California. So right now is this darkness is catching up with us, Nathan. Now we are literally in the middle of it, right in the line.
Yep. Now the daylight comes from an angle that's actually technically impossible.
Right. How is it that I'm I'm seeing both light and dark on a ball, or when it's not.
That's it. But even if you just realize what you're looking at, I'm so convinced that the daylight itself is holographic in nature, and that it appears to come from a direction only in relation to the observer, and that it basically varies over the earth. So the light is going to be looking differently for everyone.
See that, Arwen? Look at that. We're right on the line between light and darkness, right there, the twilight zone.
Sorry, I just want to add to what Arwen just said, because what Arwen's just said is bore out in this picture, so it's no longer just a supposition of what he's claiming. It's visually obvious. So for the passenger on this plane, he can see the sun. It can literally light up your face if you look out the other side of the plane. Whereas to this side of the plane, you look down and it's dark. Well, for everyone in that frame of view, they're only experiencing darkness. So yeah, it's obviously dependent on your position.
So now look how dark it is, Nathan. Now we're almost pitch black, right? I mean, there's almost no sunlight right here, right? Almost nothing to see. You would say this is nighttime, right?
Yeah, but I'm anticipating what's coming already, I hope.
Yeah, I bet you are.
I hope I'm right.
They messed with the wrong Christian, Nathan.
Well, I was just about to say.
Yeah, it's going to be still like.
I was just about to say, like, Nathan has opened a can of worms with.
Keep watching, AJ.
Nathan has opened a can of worms with the flat earth. Okay, but you're going to get a lot of Christians, true Christians, who believe in the Bible and the words of the Bible and what it represents about the earth. So, what I would just say and warn you, Nathan.
There it is, Nathan. Sorry to interrupt, AJ. So we'll have to back this up and look at this line again. Man. Yes, we'll have to back that up.
That's cool.
Yes. See?
21. So back it up real quick. 2139, real quick. I shouldn't have even said it. I just gave I gave away probably one of the most powerful reveals in the history of the internet, but that's okay. Go ahead and back it up to 2139.
Very awesome. It really shows that only from your position you're able to receive light from that angle, and everything down there just simply does not. Technically, the light is coming, well, from an angle from the ground. If you really think about it, how it works, how everything stretches on.
No,
it's so bizarre.
Just perspective. And from the perspective of the plane, it's still completely in line with the eye. So the sun, which is, it's not below you, it's although it's met the horizon because of perspective, it's still in line with his eye at altitude on the plane.
Has anybody seen the lights in Ecuador in the ocean, the blue light?
No.
Nobody's seen the videos of in Ecuador of the blue light.
So here's another. I thought I'd do a perspective comparison inside the plane, Nathan, with lights showing how they start to converge as they go away.
Yeah. Like them blue lights in that airplane now, right? There's videos in Ecuador last week where we were getting blue lights in the waves on the ocean bed. Explain that.
So Nathan, if you get a chance, back it up to 2139, only because it's something that you'll probably want to use in the future, because I've never seen it before. I've never seen anything like it. 2139, and this is when. This is why I'm talking about the ring around us. Why I'm talking about the circle of the earth, because I mean you can clearly see it.
See what?
It's 2139.
You must have missed it. Watch, it's at 2139.
Went to 2039. Sorry.
There it is. So pause it. So back it up right there. Look at this. That's insane. I've never seen a line like that, a perfect thin red line, at altitude. I've never seen it filmed. I've never seen somebody show it to me. And that right there is it. That's it. There's no way anything works other than a flat plane of existence that very well could be past 1,000 miles out. That is the edge of where the sun's light is to our right, to the farthest to the west. And it's lighting up our distant horizon. The apparent horizon is not the farthest point of the earth. The apparent horizon is what we can see, and it's being lit up, and it's a line that thin. There's probably 300,000 feet at the bottom of that red line up to the top. I mean, most people can't even wrap their heads around it.
Absolutely. And can I respond to that as well?
Just before you do, just before you do, I just want to point out one more thing. Sorry, Arwen. Just before you do, you're not going to let me. So just before you do, so I would agree, and it got an underwhelming reaction from the panel. But yeah, it's amazing, and our world is amazing. But I just want to point out the person to the right who's asleep.
Amen. Yeah. Thank God they weren't putting their heads out the window. Yeah. When I caught that shot, my jaw dropped, and that's why I couldn't film enough of it. I literally was in shock when I was looking at that line, and blood always finds its level.
And she's sleeping. What a metaphor, right?
Well, it's just because that's what I try to describe when I use my plane examples. Admittedly, I haven't used them for a while now, but that's what I try and explain to people, that during the flights, and I used to be a rep, so I was flying all over the world, I would be intrigued by getting out my seat and going to the back window because there wasn't the seats in the way. You know, on the emergency exit window, you can get a really decent angle. You can look either side. And I'd look back down the plane and I'd see exactly what was on screen then. You know, somebody fast asleep, somebody glued to the back of a crap 7-inch screen on the back of the chair in front. Pair of headphones because you can't hear a damn thing because the engine's so loud. In other words, all of the endeavours they try and give you, bang up to date movies to keep you occupied, pre-release, haven't been in cinemas yet. It's all to stop you looking out the window. But half the people on the plane don't even think about it anyway. They couldn't care less. Yeah, me, I was out there looking at it going, wow, this is so cool. And pillboxes obviously of the same ilk. You know, you're looking out the window going, wow, this is so awesome. Everyone else, yeah, whatever, flying, yeah, boring.
Yep.
I was literally giggling like a little kid, just literally like just flipping out, because I mean, after you know something and then you can see it after you know it, it was much, obviously the first time I did it, 5 years ago, I didn't know. And then now when you go back up with hindsight, it's just absolutely an amazing experience. I feel sorry for these people, Nathan. They'll never understand reality because they're scared to death of it.
Yeah. Sorry, Arwen.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Like, after you become a flat earther, you get in a plane, it's so different. Because now you're thinking about it, you're seeing it, instead of just sitting there, just, enjoying the flight.
Sorry, Arwen, you got cut off badly by me. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Arwigen.
No need.
Now, what I was saying, basically referring to that piece of footage, that red line, just trying to point out that from this angle, that piece is still being lit up because over there, the sun is at a much higher angle. Over there, if you are there on the flat plane, the sun is at a different angle as compared to here. Just to make you realize that, yeah, what is that? Why does the sun have an angular relation over distance? And what is the actual visual result coming from that? Because it just feels so extra dimensional to me, the holographic aspect that I'm noticing. I don't know.
I mean, right? Or when we can't see the sun, we can see what is lit up by the sun, because obviously the sunlight goes farther than the sun. Even a glober can figure that out. So we're not seeing the sun. We're seeing it light up the earth from probably over 1,000 miles away. And it's just a beautiful truth to know the earth is flat, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It is flat, definitely. But yeah, the nature of the sun, it just over there, the sun is at a high angle. It's lighting the location from a specific angle. And that is why we see it. But we don't see the sun at that angle from our location. Here, it's below the horizon. See, that's the holographic nature of that apparent sun disk. It's where the daylight is coming from, and it differs. The angle differs technically over distance.
I mean, just look at the grid, Arwen. I mean, at night you can see a literal grid. Mm-hmm. Every single one of those squares is probably a mile. It's missing 8 inches of curvature, and it goes on forever. it's just embarrassing for these people because they're scared to death of this. I mean, Nathan proves it every day with the obfuscations and the psychoses and the regurgitation and the parroting and that's not what it is. You don't understand. We're talking to literally the most deceived, most ignorant people in the history of mankind. So we can't really expect them to hold them, to a standard of truth. They've been absolutely mentally destroyed, Arwen, so they can't know the truth. You can show it to them all day, and what do they want to do? They want to talk about everything but the shape of the earth. Well, if you can't figure out a straight line, you have no business talking about everything else but the straight line you can't figure out.
Indeed. But what do you think about my holographic observation and the angle of the daylight and everything, the apparent sun disk? What do you think about that part? Have any thoughts?
Well, all I can say is that there's no understanding the sun. I mean, like you guys have already said this how many thousands of times. There's no distance to the sun. Do I believe that? I would say there might be a distance. I don't know, but I can't prove it. The only thing I can honestly,
how about the physical?
We can't figure. The fact is, Arwen, we can't figure out the sun. And I'm saying, why are these people so scared to death to talk about what we can test and prove and observe over and over again? That's why I don't even care about talking about the sun, the moon, the stars. None of it helps them anyway. All it does is destroy their heliocentric model. So what difference does it make? I don't know, bro. The sun is a beautiful thing. It is the greater light for the day. That's what I know it is.
Well, I just want to figure out a little bit more. That's it.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. I mean, more power to you. I just know that, my job was to show the shape of the earth, and then so I'd have a right to speak on it because I like being a teacher. So
your job? So you're a shill? Sorry.
Well, we don't get paid in dollars. Sorry, no satanic currency for us, Arwen.
Can I just say this, lads? Now you got all these words like Zionism, socialism, and all the other isms. Why is Christian not an ism?
Well, that's a good question, AJ. Thank you for enjoying this Red October flight, and I would love to see you on the next one. You know what? There's also no such thing as Christianity. You know that, AJ? There's no such thing as Christianity. There's Jesus Christ, and that's that.
That's the point I was trying to make. But you didn't see the point I was trying to make, did you?
I heard it, AJ.
You heard it, but you hear
Christianity is a cultural category.
You did not hear what I
AJ, I saw the point and agreed with you and took it further and tried to hit the ball out of the park so we could just move on, bro. I'm with you.
God bless you, brother.
Hey, AJ, the heavens declare the glory of God in the firmament show with his handiwork, and that's all I know, sir.
Preach it! That doesn't mean stop. That means preach it.
Well, you know what, Mr. Quantum Eraser, we got a lot of time ahead of us and plenty of skulls to crush in the future. I'm going to start taking it easy because there's nothing these people can do. And you got to realize, Quantum Eraser, that the evil of this world fulfilled God's prophecy. You know what I mean? So that it's kind of an amazing catch-22 that we actually need the evil to do their part to prove God's word. It's an amazing thing that we can't understand, let alone understanding the sun, the moon, the stars, the things that God created. That's why Jesus Christ says, if you can't understand the earthly things, how can I expect you to understand the things of heaven? And that's where we're at. Anybody talking about the sun, moon, and stars has no business trying to pretend. They need to shut their mouths and say, this is what the earth is. And it's called flat earth, not I can explain your imagination earth, or I can explain your television upbringing earth, or I can explain why you want to hide from reality earth. It's not that. It is flat earth, and not a single one of them can address the shape of the earth from altitude, Nathan and John and Arwen. And that is the point of this, because if any of these people were honest, they'd be going up in a plane like this crazy Christian did. Too late. I just destroyed your souls.
God love you,
brother. Sing it.
God love you. God love you, brother.
Keep it up, brother.
Again, special shout out to the Knowledge Scavenger, the most important channel on earth, Bible literist. Got to give it to her.
Yeah, he's a good.
We should have Paula on more often.
And unblock me.
So Slick James Johnson, you see what I'm saying? This is for Slick. I want Slick to be able to say, I know the earth is flat. This crazy Christian guy showed me. Now he can teach it too.
I'm sorry, I can't do that because I don't see where you did anything. You just showed a picture of out of a plane, and you kind of made a declaration of what you saw. So that's all I got out of it.
James didn't experience it.
No, it's okay. Slick, it's okay because you have to, we have to have the ability to have knowledge first to have knowledge. So.
I'm just saying, you asked my opinion, and that's my opinion. It's just like the rest of the photos. They're all the same. People make photos. No, it's okay,
Slick. It's okay. I was hoping. That's all, Slick.
I know, but just understand what I'm saying. It's the same thing with all the photos. People take these photos and they think that they mean something, and they believe, and then they start professing those beliefs like they're reality. That picture that you just showed on the plane didn't show anything.
Well, you have to have eyes to see, Slick James Johnson. That's the difference, is that what I'm saying here is it's a nice thing that I can claim knowledge, actually have it, and be able to teach people. It's not for everybody. And I don't honestly want anybody else to be able to do it that shouldn't do it. Everybody should be what they should be doing. So that's just my job. That's all.
I understand. You asked me a question, so I was just stating, my perspective on it.
But no further questions.
Not a problem. No further questions.
Well, thank you for sharing that video with this pillbox.
You real quick?
Yes, go ahead, Chocolate. I know you wanted to.
But just before you do, thank you very much, Pillbox, for sharing that with us. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, that was
right on. Thanks, Nathan. It was my pleasure. There's nothing better than being able to destroy 100,000-man army. Or maybe it's 100,000 transvestite army. I'm not sure.
Moving on. So go ahead, Chocolate.
Right. Earlier, Slick was calling Arwen a snake and all that crap, and I don't mean to bring it back to this, but I couldn't speak earlier. So Arwen was saying that there were others that were happy about Slick being taken off the panel that day, and I'm not a bitch, so I'll tell you straight up and down, I was one of those people, because that day you didn't come at you just brought nonsense to the panel. In that moment that you were going at Ranty for showing his observations and shit, and it wasn't productive in any way. So, like, I didn't snipe you, but I didn't have a problem with you being sniped at that point. So I just want to put that out there. So, because there's nobody hiding or nobody scared or nothing like that. So, just want to put that out there, let you know.
Certainly, I appreciate your honesty. And as far as Ranty's photos, listen, if those photos mean so much, then they should be able to hold up to a little bit of scrutiny. I don't think that just because a little bit of scrutiny comes across, that somebody should just snipe me because I'm questioning. Because when you do that, what you're showing is that you don't really have any kind of confidence in what you're doing because you're scared of the scrutiny.
No, I hear you. And I have no problem with the scrutiny. That's not where I had the issue. I had the issue was you hit him with, he went out, he did the observation, he's showing us, right? Watching it, and in the middle of that, you come with your famous line of, can we make a long story short, or, it was too long for you, or something like that, and then you were asking, what does it prove, And it was kind of just, it was unnecessary because
it was it was necessary. That's why I did it. Now you say it was unnecessary, but I say it was, and I can only do what I feel. I can't do what you feel. I felt it was necessary. Okay.
I agree with that. That's your opinion.
It's not my opinion. That's how it is. No, it's not an opinion. I have to do me.
That's your opinion.
No, it's not my opinion. I can only do me. I can't do you. You have to do you. So see, you're under the impression that what I was doing was wrong. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Okay, I heard what you said, and I got your point.
Why don't we move on to a kind of a different topic, Slick? I'm going to ask you something because I'm also a music teacher. I used to be a firearms instructor. We're not ready to go there, talk about people that aren't sure of things. But, when I'm explaining something to one of my students about, Bach, and about this is diminished patterns, and that, like, we know those are absolutes, and you would agree with that kind of observation, right? So,
Well, you're talking music.
Right.
Right. I understand mode, scales. Yeah, I get it.
Okay, so we can define those as not. Can we say that's knowledge or belief?
No, listen. What that is music.
Or experience. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's music. What's your point?
I'm asking a question. My point is, can we have knowledge of music, or is it an experience?
Listen, you're asking me a question that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. What does that have to do with making declarations about photographs?
Well, I'm kind of trying to take what Chocolate's saying and some of the other people are saying at you and try to put it in a different light to say, where can we have a foundation of knowledge, not just experience?
Listen, you can have a foundation of knowledge wherever you want. Just don't try to put it on me. See, people keep telling me what I have to do and what I am. That's the only point that I'm trying to make is you don't speak for me. And I don't mean you specifically, anybody. I speak for me.
Okay.
So just like when people come up and say, well, I did this, they thought this, they thought that, they don't speak for me. I don't have a belief. I don't have belief systems. And as far as I'm concerned, this whole belief thing is nothing but a fraud. Now, that's just me. That's me speaking. Nobody can change that. Nobody can alter it and tell me that I do have beliefs, because I don't. The whole thing is just a big joke. All of it. I don't care if it's from religion, all your religious beliefs, they're a joke. All of the globe heliocentric model stuff is a joke. All of it. Anything that has to do with a belief is a joke.
Right. So that's my point, is that teaching music, playing music, if I play an E chord, that's not belief, that's knowledge, that's truth, right? That's not belief.
There you go. There you go, comparing music again. I'm not talking about music. I'm talking
What's wrong with music? What's wrong with music?
I didn't say anything was wrong with music. I'm talking about beliefs.
Oh, do you drive a car?
Oh my goodness.
This is just a simple question. It's a real simple question.
It's just that I keep getting answered these same
I'm just
questions
asking,
over and over.
Somebody's asked you if you've driven a car before on Nathan's?
Yes.
Yeah, they have.
The question's been asked about 10 times, but sure.
So you drive a car, right?
I have experience driving a car. Go ahead.
Okay, so that's all that is, an experience. It's not a truth. It's not a historical account. You're just saying it's an experience.
What did I just say?
It's just an experience, right?
Okay, so now what's the problem?
Nothing. I'm just trying to verify if you can have knowledge, Slick. It's not a problem.
Listen, I don't sit around and ask myself questions like that. I just have experience. That's it. I don't go through all of these things like you go through. So why are you asking me this?
I'm just trying to figure out. I'm trying to take what Chocolate's saying and these other guys are saying, and trying to see if there's a little, if you're being misunderstood, Slick. That's all. That's okay. It's not a big
question to ask Slick. Might help. Hey, Slick, is your experience knowledge?
My experience is my experience.
I know, but is that knowledge?
It's experience.
It's his private experience.
Who asked you?
just before you get touchy, Slick, right? Just take away from this how very interested and concerned people are about you and your cognition. I would take
I could care less.
I know, but I'm just saying, take it as a massive compliment. Or, if you don't want to take it from that perspective, ask yourself this. Why would people be so interested and concerned with what you say and do?
I already know why.
Why?
Because they're snakes.
That's not what I meant.
Now, is that knowledge? Is that knowledge, or do you just experience them as
The
snakes?
knowledge of snake.
Listen, you asked me a question and I answered it. See, that's what happens. Listen, I told you the story before. Hold on. Are you going to let me talk? Are you going to let me talk? Are you going to let me talk, or you want to talk over me? Okay. I told you the story yesterday. I'm not a religious person, but there's a person by the name of Jesus. When he did his thing, everybody kept on questioning him. Everything he said didn't matter. They kept coming up with more questions. They never listened to a word he said. They only had more questions. For everything he said, they had another question. That's what you people remind me of.
Are you saying you're Jesus?
Well, hold on. I just wanted to say that, Jesus Christ has told us that his people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, so. That would be
Preach it,
something that I have
brother.
as a foundation. I would say it's lack of
Preach
knowledge
that.
that's the problem.
And he
Stress
didn't
that.
say
Say
lack
that
of
one more time.
experience. He said knowledge.
Say that one more time, Pillbox.
For my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
My people perish. Why? Because of their lack of knowledge. Thank you.
I believe that is a truth.
That's fine. You can believe what you want. I don't have
I apologize.
beliefs.
I know it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, whatever. You can have whatever you want. It doesn't
somebody's
apply.
got to be listen.
Are you going to cut me off? Are you going to cut me off?
I
or are you going to
apologize. You
listen?
go ahead, Slick.
Now you can do whatever you want. You just don't speak for me. I speak for me. What I say goes for me. Period. Belief is nothing but a belief system of two sides fighting a fake war against each other. Now that's all it is. Now, if you don't understand that, that is not my problem.
Alrighty then.
Alrighty then.
Can I go
Well,
back to what I was gonna bring
917
up?
west of the Rockies, south of the 33rd parallel. You're watching Flat Earth Debate with Nathan Oakley and Slick James Johnson.
Now, at any time, you, John, Quantum Eraser, Snake Arwin, Pillbox, Paul, whoever you guys is, whenever you want to talk about this, we can do that because you are all have nothing but a belief system. And it's all a joke.
Wait a minute, Slick. You can't make claims for me. Do you know I have a belief system?
You
Wait a
told
minute,
me.
Slick.
No, you
No,
told me.
I told you I have knowledge. Don't put words in my mouth, Slick.
Okay.
Come on
well,
now.
do you have a belief
I have
system?
knowledge. No,
do
I
you
have
believe?
I have knowledge.
I have knowledge and experience.
So do
yes,
you
I believe my car. Yeah, I believe my car's
Okay.
going to start.
So you
My
just
car's gonna
answered
start.
my
I believe
question.
it.
Okay. So you do
I
have
have
beliefs
knowledge.
then.
Yes.
Do you have beliefs?
I have
See,
knowledge.
you're dancing
That's why
around
it
playing
started.
games.
Notice the car starts. Let's see. Boom. Look at that.
Knowledge
Wow.
that you
You're just dancing around playing games. That's all.
Everybody has beliefs. No matter how much you claim you don't have beliefs.
Not me. Listen, I told you, you
Yes,
don't
you do. You
speak
believe
for
the
me.
hat makes you look cool. So put it
You
on.
don't speak
You
for me.
believe the hat makes you look.
Yes, wait a minute, Slick. We're not speaking for you. I'm saying as of me, I have to have knowledge because I have a responsibility to actually do things in a manner that I'm going to do them and say them and execute them. I have to have knowledge. I can't just have these experiences because other people depend on me. And then when I say I have knowledge, you can't say that you have an experience and then claim that you know what my belief is. I mean, that's just hypocritical. And it's like, come on.
Listen,
Let's
and
get
all
real.
that word salad you just made up, you just didn't make a bit of sense.
So what
Slick, you're being hypocritical is the point. You can't make claims for others. Come on now.
Listen, I'm not making any claims for others. I'm only repeating the claims that you make.
I'd like to see that lesson between a very young student and Pillbox. So the lesson starts and he talks about Jesus, plays a few chords, and then says, right, if you don't get this right, I'll introduce you to my assault rifle. I'm ex-military. Do you know what you're dealing with here? Anyway, right, I think I'll round out the after show with that. Unless you've got anything to add, John.
Nah, I'm good. Thanks.
With that, I will say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you joining us in the Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream, for tuning in, smashing the super chat, hopefully, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. Also, a massive thank you to all of today's debating panel for making this after show possible. If you need something to keep you occupied after this premiering stream is over, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!